and whatnot, or again, just like drowning out the shit with good stuff. So, I mean, I think, and there's really no objective way to kind of say somebody's a good poster, but anyway, because it's obviously completely subjective. But I think deep down, we all kind of know what that is. Did you sell the site to Anita Sarkeesian? No. Maybe she can do another Kickstarter and she can raise the money. Knowing you guys, you'd all probably talk enough about it to actually drive enough traffic to it to maybe actually successfully fund it. So maybe that should be your next effort. Should I check my privilege yet? Always, early and often. Let's see. Why does your website suck? That is a very old meme. I respect your old memeing. How are you today? I am great, if you can't tell. I think that, I mean, that's another thing I kind of mentioned in a lot of these interviews yesterday, but, you know, last year when I shut down my startup, which was, you know, this 4-year slog and was kind of a, you know, an emotional roller coaster, I was in a good place, but, you know, it was a bummer, and, you know, just a lot of kind of things got compressed into you know, a short span of time in terms of, you know, making the decision to shut down the company and kind of helping the employees transition, and, you know, actually shutting down the operations, getting out of the office, you know, all of that. And so that kind of left this kind of emotional, I guess, you know, burden that kind of took a few, you know, weeks and months to kind of decompress and kind of work that off. Whereas with 4chan, you know, actually like yesterday, or, you know, I guess Wednesday when I posted that, I was actually kind of like waiting for the emotions to sneak up on me. And, you know, maybe I sound apathetic. I mean, it's really not that. Again, I think I've reached kind of a point of zen of sorts. I mean, I really, truly don't have negative feelings. I mean, just in general in life, again, like I really, truly, for people who are angry on the internet, I really, really, honestly, truly hope that you one day, you know, find the beauty in just not caring about, you know, things, or just not allowing strangers and things outside of your control to rile you up, because it's a very healthy way to live. I'm sure that you'll add a few extra years to your life by keeping your heart rate down. But again, I very rarely feel, you know, negative feelings or angry at this point. And you know, it's the same for 4chan. I mean, I look back and I think I've been feeling very nostalgic. You know, again, it's, you know, especially over the past few days, just seeing you know, some of the cards people have made me, and some of the, you know, people linking to the old, you know, 4chan.org/flash, you know, Flash archive, and you know, just posting, you know, old memes and old, you know, images and stuff like that. And it really just takes me back. And again, a lot of people who probably haven't used the site for 11 years, because I think very few of us have, you know, just, again, a decade is just such a hard figure of, you know, amount of time to actually think about. And, you know, it's incredible. And so I think again, as I kind of decompress and reflect over the coming weeks, I'm sure more of those emotions will kind of surface. But I mean, right now I just feel extremely content, you know, satisfied, you know, just, you know, really proud of the community. And, you know, again, the community is unprecedented. There are very few communities that are 4chan size. There are much fewer, you know, communities that have actually been around for as long as 4chan has. And, you know, that's incredible. And so I'm, you know, very glad that I was, you know, had the privilege of being a part of that. So, so nothing but positive vibes right now. Where do you regret the most? This is actually a great question. So this is number 608. A lot of things. But I think mostly, I mean, well, actually I kind of take that back. I mean, on one hand, I generally don't feel, you know, regretting anything is healthy, because, you know, it's kind of both eyes forward instead of one or both kind of fixed on the past. You know, you can't change the past, you can only change the future. And so it makes a lot more sense to kind of take your energy and can invest it in the future and kind of changing, you know, those things. And I really do believe that, you know, kind of life is up and to the right. If you kind of keep your head up and have kind of a good way about you, you know, things kind of get better. So I wouldn't phrase it as a regret so much as just if I were to go back and change something, or if I could, you know, possibly change a thing, which again, I wouldn't, because, you know, I think as long as you're happy in the present and again, where you are, then you have nothing to regret about the past. I mean, your past can be so shitty, but as long as you're happy today, then again, you really don't have anything to regret, because that, you know, the shit is what got you to the present. And so, again, you know, I'm so happy with where I am now and where the community is. And so I don't think I would change anything. But if, you know, theoretically I were to go back and change something, I think I would have, you know, again, headed off this entire kind of issue altogether, you know, with kind of my succession and whatnot, by just doing a better job at managing the team from the start. And really, there are a lot of people who I think wanted to help out early on, and I didn't really give them that opportunity. I really chose to kind of shoulder most of the burden to myself over the past 11 and a half years. And I regret that, in that I think that if I had kind of more people that I kind of trusted and again, kind of empowered early on and kind of treated as partners, it's interesting to, kind of think about where we could be today, or at least I'm sure a lot of the 4chan and life in general are these kind of peaks and valleys, and I think having kind of more support from a group of people that I really trusted and whatnot would have kind of smoothed out those peaks and valleys. And so for a long time I used to kind of describe myself as the loneliest webmaster, and it's because I really, again, like I didn't really have many friends. Contrary again to popular belief, all these wonderfully wild kind of theories that run about. But, I am friendly with a lot of the moderators and generators now as I've gotten to know them, but, they're not my friend. People that are my friends in real life have really never become, involved with the site. I mean, my friends outside of 4chan don't use 4chan, except for people that I've met through the site. I've made a lot of friends through 4chan over the years, at least, a few dozen people that I've met, and a handful of very, very close friends I've met through 4chan. One or two of those people may be involved with the team, but again, I met them through 4chan, and they were probably involved before I became friends with them. But, for a long time, I felt very kind of isolated because, again, like 4chan as a community is kind of peerless, and my kind of tenure as, an administrator of a giant community for 10 plus years is also peerless. I mean, it's hard to name really any other analogous examples. And so for a long time, there's, there kind of like wasn't anybody, once we reached a certain point, I mean, sure, it's like there were other website administrators that were running communities, but once 4chan got into the millions, tens of millions of users, I mean, I stopped having kind of people I could, ask for advice that at least had kind of firsthand knowledge or experience. And so for a long time, I think I kind of, again, kind of chose to go it alone and felt pretty lonely. And so I think that had I done a better job at kind of managing the team of volunteers, then, I could have kind of drawn on them for support. But for whatever reason, I didn't. And again, I would just say, I was a terrible people manager early on. I was 15. Like, what does 15-year-old know about managing people? I mean, I had my first job when I was 15 or 16. So, I never managed anybody up until, pretty recently, 4 years ago with the startup. And I learned a lot about just how to, again, direct people to make them feel appreciated and to know that you value their work and all of that. And again, a lot of you, I mean, this isn't meant to be offensive, but I think a lot of 4chaners probably are in their late teens, early 20s, and so you may not have had this experience yet in your own careers, leading people or managing people. But just know that again, people deserve your respect and kindness. And probably the worst thing I've done is that I would only really kind of reach out to people when they'd done something wrong, which is like 1% of the time, instead of the 99% of the time that they were doing a great job. And it really breeds a pretty toxic kind of work culture and relationship if you act that way. And so as I've kind of grown up and had that firsthand experience, I've really tried to be better to the moderators. But I have a lot to make up for there. Again, it sucks to, I mean, a lot of the users, again, kind of treat them like shit, which, again, is a bummer because, they're all recruited. They're all you. I mean, they all come from the community. I mean, at this point, the only way to become a moderator is to be a janitor. The only way to be a janitor is to be a 4chaner, and apply. And, they all really love the community and all, have served it for, hours and hours and, days worth, weeks worth of their life, and, rarely get kind of thanks. And, in lieu of kind of receiving that praise from the community, which, probably won't change at this point, I wish I'd done a better job at, thanking them myself. So this is great. This is like very therapeutic. I'm glad we're doing this. Let's see. So number 605, I think that what many people are, I think what many people are concerned about is who still owns 4chan in the future. I know you said that the contrary in the VB interview, VB being VentureBeat, but even though you are stepping out as an admin, can't you still own the site just to make sure no one fucks it up to be some kind of plebit 9fag Facebook crap? We need 4chan to be 4chan epic related. Yes, I mean, as I said in that interview and other interviews, I do want to completely step back. I mean, this again, it's time. It's been 11 and a half years. It's time for not only myself to move on, but